Alright, how's it going everybody? Took a few minutes to get started there. We're trying a lot of new things this week. Slideshow to test some stuff that we can use for more in the future. We're also restreaming to few different services this week. We're doing Twitter and YouTube should be up as well. So I just had a little extra stuff to check before I started. And actually, one more thing. 1 second. I gotta make sure the recording is going well. Alright, we're good to go on that. We're ready to go now. How's everybody doing today? Another Sunday, back from last week when we did a full tutorial stream. We're not going to be doing quite in depth this week, mainly because there's no real need to do all the basics every week. But what I would like to do this week is kind of go over everything that kind of hit the game this week. We can dive into some crafting and also refining since it's so important to crafting. Fly around, check out the NPCs, talk about some of the patch notes, in particular the ship buffs that were tested briefly but we had to roll back. We can take a look at those and kind of speculate how we all think it's going to affect the gameplay, because some pretty big ship changes, and it's going to make the game a lot more dynamic. It's going to make the ships a lot more specialized, and we're all going to have to think about what ships we want in our hangar a lot more and how we want to equip them. So to get started, I'd say, so I actually was just playing for a good bit before this. I've been running around and going through and making sure all my refineries and my workshops are running. I'm sure all you guys have been doing the same too, at least from what I've seen in the Discord. Are the volume levels good between the music and my voice? I think I have the music up a little louder than last week, so let me know if it's too much. Alright, so I think the first thing we can do is just let's take a look at the manufacturing interface. I'm sure many of you have looked at this, but I'm sure there's a lot of players that really haven't got a chance to dive into it yet. So to get to manufacture, there's really two ways you can go about manufacturing. As you can see, we have these two tabs here: private facilities and station facilities. So station facilities are public manufacturing facilities, essentially, that anybody can use. You can see the two in the station I'm in right now have available status, which means I could come in, I could click them now, and start crafting something if I wanted. The main difference is, for station facilities, you're going to pay a fee per item crafted, and that's going to vary between, I think, 3,000 to 5,000 GRP. So if I were to go in here and craft 10 Astral Galtride boards right now, you'll see the fee down here is going to update to 30,000 GRP. So that's just something to note when you're crafting in the public facilities, is that fee is per item, not per an overall use. Now for those of us that may have been around a little longer, or maybe have a hefty stack of GRP to spend, we're probably going to be buying private facilities. Private facilities vary in price from, I want to say 500k is the cheapest, with the majority of them being 1 million GRP. It seems a lot at first, but when you do the math for 1 million GRP versus the fee you're paying over here, you're only going to be able to craft about like 333 modules before it would have been worth it to just buy a private facility off the bat. But I've actually been using the public facilities in addition to my private facility, just because I want to craft stuff a lot quicker than just one facility will let me, and also because you can only have one private facility per a station. So say I wanted to craft 50 Galtride bores, I would need 5 private facilities across 5 stations, and then I would also have to transport all the materials from one station to the next station to the next station. And I'll be honest, I've just been a tad lazy this weekend. I don't want to move all those materials around too much. And I have been using the public facilities a decent bit. I think I've crafted 50 or 60 modules out of the public facilities since crafting released. Just because it lets me push a lot more volume a lot more quickly. I can have all my modules right here in my loadouts, so I can deconstruct them again nice and easy without any travel time. But that is an option. That's one way to use the public facilities that I had anticipated using myself. So that's kind of like the basics of how you get into manufacturing and just kind of get your foothold started. Now, once you get into manufacturing and you have your own private facility, or maybe you're going for the public facilities, you also need to develop mastery for whatever you'd like to craft. So you can see up here, I only really have 3 modules that I have the I don't even have a mastery, I have knowledge of. You can see this first one, the T1 Astral Galtroid bore. I've mastered that and then some already. That's what I've been focusing on. I also have a tiny bit of knowledge in the T2 Astral Galtroid border, and also a tiny bit of knowledge in the Xeno 1 pulse scanner. So I can actually attempt to craft any of these. So if you come in here and this is just empty for you, even though you bought a private facility, that's normal. What you need to do is you need to pick whatever module you want to craft, and you actually need to deconstruct those to get blueprints, which are what these numbers are here, like the 2 out of 500. That means I've deconstructed 2 T2 Astral Galtride bores, so I got 1 blueprint for each. Then I consumed those blueprints, and so now my mastery is 2 out of 500, which realistically I would not attempt to craft this right now because my chances would just be miserable. Oh, actually, I have a completed manufacturing job that we can claim right now, and then I can show you guys like the percent chances on these. So I had 1 manufacturing job there, and I had 10 successes, and they were all T1s. So these 10 should be in my loadout right now, or for the station cargo, and I'll be able to go deconstruct those and then start another load of 10 if I would like. So I'm going to click over to this T2 Astral Galtride board now, just so you can see the difference, like how poor my success chance would be with only a couple blueprints. So if I attempted to craft an Astral Galtroid bore T2 right now, my success chance would only be 0.4%. aka you do not want to attempt this. You're just going to be throwing materials away. So my recommendation is to get as many of an item as you can and deconstruct them to get this percent rate up as high as you can before you start crafting. Otherwise, you're going to be throwing just materials away essentially. Like for me, I really want to start crafting the Xeno 1 pulse scanner, and I actually have about 25 of these. I just haven't deconstructed them all yet, but it's a somewhat tough, expensive module to get. So I'm probably only going to start with like a 25% chance rate, which isn't great, but it's not horrible. Like I can get to the higher percentages pretty quickly. It's just like starting with anything below like a 10% success rate is probably going to be very painful for you and very painful for your ore inventory. Now, this next percentage you see under the success rate, this invention chance here, you can see it's 0% here, and that's because I haven't mastered the module yet. Once you hit your 100% success rate, meaning for the Xeno 1 pulse scanner, that would be when I get 100 out of 100 blueprints, my invention chance kicks in. So when that, I'll switch over to this T1 Astral Galtride board so you can see it. So you can see on this one I have 207 out of 100 blueprints. So my invention chance is 8.28%. So that means right now with the current implementation of manufacturing, when I attempt to craft a T1 Astral Galtride bore, there's an 8.28% chance that I'm actually going to get a T2. That's pretty significant, obviously because you're getting a T2 instead of a T1, but also because you're getting a T2 for the material cost of a T1. So if you look at the recipes, which you can do by clicking this like little purple circle with the eye, we'll look at the T1 first. Well, we can actually look at it right here. So the T1, it requires 180 pyrite shards, 230 liquid pyrite, 185 steel sheets, and 220 crystal aluminum rods. Now you'll see when I click over T2, those numbers are all going to go up pretty significantly. So we went up about 10% on our pyrite shards. Looks like we went up about 10% on everything. Yeah, roughly 10 to 15% increase in materials. That's going to be pretty big later on, I think, whenever the economy and everyone manufacturing like really masters everything. Because if you can get like a really high invention chance, say on a T1, high enough that you can basically just make T2s for the cost of a T1, that's going to be a competitive advantage in the market when you're listing stuff in the marketplace, because your materials costs are going to be 10 to 15% lower than the person who's making T2s at the T2 material cost. So that's something to keep in mind whenever you're leveling your crafting, especially if you're going to do it for economic means to make money in game, that eventually you want to be able to level your T1s and even your T2 masteries high enough that this invention chance can actually become a competitive advantage for you. Now, we didn't really have any resources for looking up recipes before. We had a couple charts in the Discord, but that's it. But with this latest patch, it's actually made it very easy to just dig around and find what you need to make what you'd like to craft. So we have our base recipe here. We know we need these 4 components, but how do we make these 4 components? Well, you can click these, the purple circles again, and it's going to tell you. So pyrite shard, easy one. You're just going to refine pyrite. Liquid pyrite, a little more. It's a little tougher. You're going to need just pyrite, refined pyrite itself, and refined ice. And you can basically just drill down. And right now, when looking at a recipe like this, it's pretty simple. But let's go into the catalog and take a look at something much more difficult. Like, here we go. I already have a dredger up because I was looking at that. So you can see, I'm actually going to make this window bigger just so we can see more. So you can see the dredger recipe is a lot more involved, obviously, than just making a regular old module. And then when you click down into one of these, so let's say we need 4 thrusters. What do I need just to make these 4 thrusters? I'm going to click in, I'm going to see I need all of this, so I'm going to need 4 times these amounts. And then in, say, let's just look at the diamond core golden plate. So I need 4 thrusters, which means just for the thrusters, I'm going to need 2,500 diamond core golden plates. So I'm going to click this purple circle again, and it's going to tell me exactly what I need. So I'm going to need diamond and gold sheets just for that. And you're basically going to have to drill down through each of these subcomponents to figure out which components you need, and then figure out what you need for each of those components. So you can see it's going to be a pretty hefty task just to craft a ship, and this is a small ship too. This is just an Intrepid class. So if you haven't really been digging around in the catalog too much, I'd recommend doing that. It gives you a good idea of the things you need, and you can kind of start crafting stuff ahead of time if you plan on crafting ships. That you can be making all of your level 1 and level 2 components right now. So whenever we start getting our ship blueprints, you'll be ready to go. And you can also just kind of come around here. There we go. And just kind of peruse all the different modules and get an idea of what's needed for them. Because you don't want to craft all of your refined ore into a level 1 component, but it's nice to have a little bit of each. I've been kind of trying to keep a stack, like I'll try to keep a stack of refined nickel and nickel sheets around, just so you're not going straight all the way from raw ore to like a level 2 component when you decide to craft something. And I'm sure we're all going to slowly develop like stockpiles of just a bunch of random components as we continue to craft and craft. But it's nice to kind of dig around and see what's used a lot, what's used not so much, and kind of just like so you know what ores you need. Like I'm already seeing, because I've been crafting the astral galtride bore so much, it uses a lot of pyrite, and my pyrite stack is actually dwindling. I mean, I still have a good chunk left, but I'm going through it much quicker than I thought. And it's also nice, like if you know there's like 10 modules that you plan to craft, and some of them share components, to just go ahead and just like make a huge stack of that component. So like I plan on crafting this Quantum A1 antimatter cannon soon, probably like in the next few weeks. And it also requires a crystal aluminum rod, just like the astral galtride bore does. And since I already looked at that, I know that I can go ahead and just craft like 100,000 of these crystal aluminum rods, and I'm definitely going to use them at some point. It's just nice to get them all out of the way at once. Now it's come to my attention too that a lot of people actually didn't know that you can make components in the workshops, which I understand the confusion, because you'd think once you get past the refined ore you'd have to be in a manufacturing facility, but you can actually make up to level 2 components in your workshops, and that's primarily where you're going to be doing them. I have this workshop running right now. I forget what I have in it though. We'll see if it's the component. Yeah, so you can see I'm making components here. So I'm refining, what is this, neon gas, and then I'm also making, I forget what this is called, but I know it's used in the Xeno scanner. So basically, like, you're gonna refine your raw ore into refined ore, and then you combine, like, you can either combine like level 1 components refined or refine and refine, and you come up with stuff like this. Another big thing that changed with manufacturing and workshops with this patch is the pricing. So prior to this patch, a private workshop, they cost anywhere from 20,000 GRP up to 50,000 GRP, and they've basically 10x in price, which I think is reasonable considering how much GRP a lot of us have made recently and how easy it's become for us to come across. But they now range in price from, I want to say, 150,000 GRP is the cheapest, and then 250,000 GRP is the GFI standard now. And then, as I said earlier, the manufacturing facilities are also now 1 million GRP. And something else we're going to see soon are the player-owned public facilities and workshops. So right now we actually already have GFI-owned public workshops and public facilities, which you can see the public workshops here that you can refine ore in. And then soon we're going to have the player-owned ones where players can buy a workshop, equip it, and then rent it out to other players. So one thing to note specifically with the GFI public workshops is this yield percentage here. Obviously you're going to be paying a fee, and obviously you're going to be paying a tax, and this tax is off the ore you're putting in. So if I put 1,000 iron ore in, 50 of it would go to a tax, like it just disappear, I wouldn't own it anymore. But this yield percentage here, obviously we're familiar with this if we've used our own workshops, and we're usually running like 85, 90, 95, 98%. Most GFI public workshops are going to be a 70% yield, but there are stations out there that are specialized that are going to give you a much better yield than that. Mining and refining stations are the ones you want to look for. I think a good example of a refining station is GX or GQ Andromeda. They both might have refining stations, and the yield on those are actually, it's 94%. Now you're going to pay a higher fee, obviously, because you're using a more efficient workshop, but it's definitely going to be worth it when you consider you're getting a 24% better yield for just a few thousand more GRP. But you don't want to just go slap an ore in whatever GFI public workshop. So you don't want to just go slap an ore in whatever public workshop without looking at the yield. I would recommend really considering which one you want to use and potentially transporting that ore to a refining station. Alright, so what do we want to go through next? Trying to think. I think I do have an open manufacturing facility, and we'll actually transport stuff there, and we can make some astral galtride boards just so you guys can see. Actually, oh, this one's empty now, but I just claimed it. Let's just do it here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start a batch of astral galtride boards here. I think I have enough stuff. I should. Yep. Alright. So you can see it automatically adjusts the requirements there to tell me how much I need for 10 instead of 1. Let's click that, and 3 hours later it'll be done. The yield stat is definitely a better indicator now than it was before. I think because before, like, the refining change, the augments were actually so overpowered we would just never see like a change in the yield stat really, unless we were just getting miserable returns. So we were all pretty much just sitting at 98, 99% because it was so easy because of how overpowered the augments were. But now that those have been adjusted, the yield stat is a lot more indicative of the efficiency of your refinery. So definitely pay attention to that. I found that most of my workshops I'm running at 98%. If you play around with your settings, another thing I've noticed is that you are able to, it's probably been like this but I never considered it as much as I do now, but you can actually play around with the settings in your workshop it'll decrease your yield, but you can significantly also decrease the time required. So say you need to pump out 10,000 refined iron ore really quick, you can take the hit on the efficiency and run it like at 70% efficiency and get it like twice as fast as if you were running it like 95% efficiency. So that's something to consider if you're ever in a spot where you just want to refine stuff, or maybe you just have so much iron ore you don't care if you throw 15% of it away and you'd rather just refine it a lot faster. That's something to consider. Definitely when you're in your refineries and workshops, go through and play around with those settings and watch what happens to not just your estimated output, but also to the time required, because you'll notice that going from like a poor yield to like an optimal yield, the time will go up like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. You'll go from like a 1-day processing time to an 8-day processing time. So that's something to keep in mind if you ever need to refine ore fast, or you find yourself with an excess of something and you don't really care if you waste 20% of it. So what's the next thing we go over? I guess let's pull up the patch notes and talk over those. Give me 1 second, I'll pull them up. No, it should be showing. One second. Alright, there we go. That's working now. Alright, so here's the patch notes from the hotfix the other day, and then also the primary patch notes from this week when we released refining and everything else. We can take a look through these. I think the most interesting thing in these patch notes, even though they're not applied currently because they were rolled back, is the ship buffs. Now obviously, since they had to be rolled back because they were buggy, they may not come out at the exact amounts they were before, but I just kind of want to talk in general about what these ship buffs are really going to do for the game, because I'm sure a lot of you guys looked at them and noticed that there's some significant buffs and or nerfs here, and they're really helping to specialize ships. Primarily for the mining ships, massive difference. You can take a ship like the Dredger, and if this buff holds, the unit weight of ore is in mining ships, which mining ships are the Dredger, the Prospector, the Scrapper, the Night Saber, and the Frost Saber. They're all going to have drastically reduced ore weights, which means you're going to be able to hold a significant amount more of ore than you were before. For example, if this 90% ore weight reduction holds when they're reinstated, a Dredger, once buffed, is going to hold just as much ore, actually more ore, than a non-buffed Harvester does now. You're talking a Dredger, which most people haven't used or really played with outside of a few starter players, is now going to be able to hold over 300 million kilograms of ore. That's very significant. That now makes it a much better prospect for a mining ship, especially with the increased ore amounts we're seeing now. Even with only 2 hard points, you'll be able to fill 330 million kilograms of cargo space up pretty quickly out in Fringe. So that's something to consider. You don't really need a Harvester anymore or some other huge Prometheus ship to go out into Fringe and pick up a large amount of ore. So you're going to want to consider that, especially once Permaloss hits. Do you want to risk your Packer or your Carrier or whatever, your Enterprise D that you've been using for mining? Do you really want to risk sending that out to Fringe when you could just risk sending out a Dredger, of all things, and still come back with 330 million kilograms of ore? So that's something you guys should really think about, especially moving into Permaloss. I think we should all start kind of trying to roll into a Permaloss state of mind and start functioning more in that, so when it does hit, we're not all taken off guard. That was probably the most significant change that I saw in these. That could be just because I'm primarily a miner. But there's also pretty big buffs to smaller ships. Like smaller combat ships, like the Interceptor and Eliminator, for example. They're now going to have increased weapons damage, and they're also going to have reduced draw power when these ship buffs are reinstated. So you'll be able to run higher power weapons, and you'll also be doing a lot more DPS than a non-combat ship. And I think this is going to be a boon, especially for the Vanquisher and Dominator, that they've kind of been the red-headed stepchild of combat ships for a while. Despite having pretty nice stats, the 11 hard points on the Vanquisher and Dominator are now going to become a lot more possible to use. Because before it was tough to do 11 high DPS 1x1 weapons on a Vanquisher because it was just very difficult to power balance along with shields. But now with these buffs that could potentially be hitting it, it becomes a lot more viable for a combat ship. Like, imagine if you could run 11 high DPS 1x1 weapons on your Vanquisher and still have enough shields and have your armor on there as well and have it be power balanced. That's a pretty big game changer. And I think the other thing too, like, because there's been a lot of talk off and on, and I've been one of those people talking about how, like, I think a lot of you have noticed how anything smaller than a Prometheus is very difficult for combat, especially PvP combat right now. But moving forward into Permalost, you're going to once again want to consider whether you want to take and risk your Prometheus out in Fringe as often as we do now. So I think Permalost is going to start making Intrepid ships and Corsair ships a lot more, much more viable options, purely for that reason, that we are not going to want to be in our Prometheus ships 24/7 and risk losing them 24/7. Like, we're only going to be rolling out the Prometheuses into Fringe space when it's really advantageous for us to do so. Go over this. The patch notes actually have some significant changes. It has all the workshop notes here too as well, so you can see the difference in the mining and refining stations. So it actually lists CCB or a standard GFI station, which is where I was just showing you guys. 70% yield on your refinery, 5% tax, 1,250 GRP fee. You move just to a mining station, which mining stations are the ones with like the claws picking up all the asteroids and such. Those are, you get bumped all the way up to an 85% yield. Tax goes down by 1%, and your GRP fee goes up by less than 1,000 GRP. Then bumping up to a refining station, those are the ones that have like the huge tanks on them, like Radiant Station and Sol, I believe, is the refining station. That's the one not too far out, but on the western side of the map, the far left side of the map, that I see a lot of people at. That moving to one of those stations will bump you up to a 94% yield and a 3% tax and only a 5,250 GRP fee, which that is actually a very solid deal in my opinion. Especially if you're pretty new to the game and you can't afford busting out 250k GRP for a new private workshop. And then on top of that, in my opinion, the more difficult purchase right now is all of the equipment and modules you need to run that. So these refining stations, purely because of these numbers, the 94% yield and this lower tax and this not too significant fee, we could start seeing a lot of traffic there just to use those public refining facilities. So we're going to skip the save loadouts for now. We'll come back to that. So obviously there's been a ton of changes to ore distribution and mining, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have noticed. So really we've seen kind of three significant changes I've seen. We've seen the introduction of gas mining, we've seen the introduction of ice mining, and then something even more significant in my opinion is the introduction of concentration nodes, which a lot of us have hit, and you've seen the people coming into the Discord and saying they find tons of ore, whether it be rare, ultra rare, exotic. I've actually found concentration nodes of all kinds of ore. I think I even found concentration nodes of common ores, which, I mean, you may think, why would you want that? But it actually makes mining easy because you can just sit there and mine the same asteroid for forever. So what a concentration node is they're asteroids, usually a group of asteroids that has a very significant amount of ore in them. And usually it's they're specific to one type ore. Like, I found concentration nodes that just had thousands of leucite in it. I found some for pyrite. I found them for galtronium. People have found them for trilite. All kinds of stuff. And basically you can get into one of these concentration nodes and you can just sit there and mine the same group of asteroids for much longer than normal and pull a lot more ore out of them than normal. So that's really something. It's become profitable to not just go and blanket mine a whole asteroid field. What I've been doing is I'll actually fly through the field and I'll scan the whole field first, looking for any concentration nodes before I start mining. Because if you find a few concentration nodes, you can fill your cargo up a lot quicker than if you're just mining normally. And then another big change that affects mining are the NPCs. So NPCs have become a lot more prevalent. We didn't really have NPCs in Fringe very often outside of a few spots before. Now we have them everywhere and they spawn very frequently. I've been in fields and I'll get 4 or 5 NPC spawns while I'm still mining out there. And not only that, the difficulty of those NPC spawns can be a lot more difficult than they were before, especially when you go to the farther out Fringe systems like Muare and Gamma Pavanis, and I don't know, what's the other, like 29 GV, all those ones that are more than 30 light years out. If you plan on going out there, you're going to want to be very careful, and you're going to want to pay attention when you're out there mining. Don't be jumping over and staring at Netflix for a few minutes while you mine, because you're probably going to come back to a pod. And then we've also got some changes to some of the specialized mining beams. So before, a lot of these beams just functioned like normal beams. They didn't really have an advantage. To be honest, I haven't tested these out too much. The only ones I've really used so far are the CJ2 gas harvesting beam and the NL21 universal mining beam. So the CJ2 gas harvesting beam obviously just harvests gas and that's it. You're not going to get any regular ore from that. The NL21 universal mining beam actually is able to mine everything. So it can be nice if, say, you're limited to only running 1 or 2 mining beams on a ship. The NL21 might be a good choice for you because you'll be able to mine anything you find, whether it be ice, gas, or regular ores. That does come at a disadvantage though in some regards, because the cooldown on the NL21 is much longer than on regular beams. You can see like a T1 NL21 has a 50-second cooldown, versus like Dolomite R24 has a 20-second cooldown. The Vulcan Ice Beam is only 12, and the Troilite Extractor Beam is only 20. And I believe all the regular mining beams like the Binary and the Thermal Algod all kind of fall into that same range of like a 15 to 30 second cooldown. So the cooldown of the NL21 is a significant disadvantage. But it also, if you're limited on hard points that you can dedicate to mining beams, it's probably your best choice, especially if you need gas or ice in addition to regular ore. I think that covers just about everything we want to go through in the patch notes. So what I'm going to do now is we'll actually go out and do some mining. I think all my refineries are running right now, and I have some stuff manufacturing, so that's good enough. And we'll bump out and we'll go do a little mining here and there. This stream isn't going to last 4 hours like the last week's did, purely because we're not going any more tutorial stuff. But if you are a newer player and you have questions on something, you have something you want to see, you see me doing something, you're not sure what it was for or how I did it, just drop a question in and I'll definitely go over that and answer whatever questions you have on the gameplay. One second, please change over the display. Alright, let me see. Do I want to take... So I actually equipped my Enterprise D here for mining, but I've only taken it out mining once. I've primarily been using it just making runs. As you can see, everything I have in the cargo, which I should transfer all this over. It's basically been my dedicated transport ship running from refinery to refinery and workshop to workshop and my facility to facility to make sure, keep everything running. So I think my harvester is empty and in hangar, so we might take that out. Let me see what build I have on that, because I did a couple loads with my harvester this weekend. I think I actually wanted to adjust the loadout if I didn't already. Yeah, I do need to adjust this loadout. Oh, actually no. Yeah, so I had the NL21s on here before, and I decided to take those off. Purely because the yield you get from the specialized beams is usually about 4 to 5 times higher than the NL21. So like for example, if I'm mining an ice asteroid with a Vulcan ice beam, I'll usually get like 3 to 4k ice per pull, whereas if I'm mining it with an L21, I'm only getting like 700 or 800. And the ice asteroids and also the gas clouds that the CJ2 is used on are pretty massive. It takes a long time to empty them out. So I decided to switch to 2 of each specialized beams. And then I have a bunch of thermal algods in addition to the pre-equipped deep core mining beam that the harvester has. Now, one thing I was considering doing is dropping all of the thermal algods and just throwing a Vulcan cascade on here as well. And the reason I was doing that is because I like to go into Fringe and try to find spots where I can mine multiple different types of resources at once. Like, I found that it's possible to find a spot in a field where you can mine ice, gas, and ore all at the same time. And usually with the range on the deep core mining beam the harvester has, I can reach a concentration node just because it has that awesome 250 GU range. And I found that in those situations, I tend to just have the deep core mining beam and then my specialized beams running, and my thermal algods don't really see much use. So I was thinking of getting rid of some of those, but I don't know if I'd be able to make enough room to throw a Vulcan cascade laser on here instead. Let's see, but I have 4, 5, 6, and I got 4 spare slots here. So I could probably drop some shields or something too. I think I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can work that somehow. I'm not sure. I guess I could try to put the cascade on the back here. I might be able to do it without even getting rid of many thermal algods. Here. I also don't really need regular ore as much right now, so maybe I should try throw a couple more dolomites on there, because I've been burning through the ice. I don't know if you guys have been using tons of ice in your crafting, but the recipes I've been hitting, I need a lot of ice to make liquid components like liquid pyrite and liquid leucite and everything. I've found that those are pretty prominent in recipes and you need a good bit of it. So maybe I should throw some dolomites on here instead of a couple thermal algods, just so I can mine more ice. Didn't I get, I'm at 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah I am at 9. Guess we'll just get rid of this guy. It is kind of nice with manufacturing now. I actually have needs when I go out mining. Like, I'm not just going out and blindly mining. Like, there's ores I want and that I need for my manufacturing. It makes it a lot more interesting. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. That'll let me get a decent amount of ice. Gas, I kind of need, but I'm doing pretty decent on. I got a good amount over this weekend so far. My power should be set. What do I have? I just have the Argent. That's 25. That means my actual power draw is about 10,600 per second. I'm at 1259, so I won't be able to run everything at 150 while I'm getting attacked, but that's okay. Alright, I'm not gonna fight him. I'm gonna cloak. I'm gonna cloak him and run away. So one thing I've discovered, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but you can cloak and scan asteroids while you're cloaked. So like as soon as they pop up, you can cloak and just run and scan until you find the next concentration node. Do like, I call it hit and run mining. Do I even, like, I feel like I shouldn't even throw more shields on. What's my sublight at? I got 2 Hush X3s. That's good sublight. Maybe I should steal the trans warp off of my... Actually, yeah, I do need to take the trans warp off of my Enterprise and put it on here. So let me go over there and get that. Yeah, maybe I should even just get rid of one of these deflector shields and throw my second quantum slip on here as well. Yeah, let me see, what do I want off this? Take this guy. Come on. And this guy. I don't want to spend too much time in slipstream since I'm on stream, so I'm gonna just drop some shields. I'm gonna be paying, I hope I'm paying good attention since I'm on stream. I don't have like Netflix or something going on the side that'll distract me. So I should have no problem cloaking quick enough to not get killed. Ah, we lost the cast. Oh, don't tell me this Kindle is stuck on here. We're gonna have to rearrange everything if it is. So the Cascade. Oh, there's that one that showed up. Hopefully that stays there. Trans warp. Come on. Why is it not showing? I'm not spelling, what is it, transwarp device it's called? I don't even remember. Drive? Why is it not showing up? Did it not come off the Enterprise? Disadvantage of having too much junk. I don't think it came off the ship. I can have it. Why does it not want to leave the ship? I didn't sell a trans warp device. I mean, we don't need it, but it'd be nice to have it. Wait for it to finish loading. Oh, there it is. Okay, we're good. We can switch ships now. Hey, the Cascade stayed that time. That's good. Alright, so let's throw this on there. We're gonna get rid of this deflector shield. I don't really care about shields too much. It's still showing 2 on here. I only have 2. Let's hit a reload to make sure nothing messed up. Oh, we're good. Nice. Okay. How's our power looking? Power's still good. Actually, power draw went down. Let's see. Try to reorganize our hard points some. We know how that goes. Put all my. I don't know if that'll stay, but we'll see. Did have 1 slot here. Let's just throw the shield there. Nice fast slipstream speed, nice quantum jump range. Alright, can't forget our TCF. And I think we're good to go. Go over everything one last time. We got all of our beams, we got multiple scanners, our power's good, we got our TCF. Yeah, we're good to go. I'm actually gonna save this loadout because I have 1 loadout. I had this one. I don't like this one, so I'm gonna get rid of that, and I'm gonna save this one as my multi-miner. And let's go ahead and go out. Anyone have any systems they think we should go to? Let's try and keep it within a 28 light year jump range of a jump gate system. Just because I don't want to spend a lot of travel time on stream. It can get a tad boring. Let me see what, I'm going to check my scouting data. Oh no, save loadouts are live. Yeah, they went live with the patch last week, so start using them. They're beautiful. Just checking out. I'm not showing you guys my spreadsheet. It has all my info from all this mining I've done. That's my info. Let me see. We'll pick somewhere I haven't been, and maybe we'll discover something awesome. Gonna sort. So the way I look for systems now is I sort from distance from Sol, and I start at the ones farthest from Sol and try to find the farthest one from Sol I can go to with my current jump range. So the top 2 I see are Gamma Pavonis, which I've been there, 96 Kappa 170. I don't think I've been there since the patch. I actually need to update this spreadsheet because it doesn't consider 43 beta as a jump gate system, so that could probably change things. You sent me a DM. Alright, let me check. You sure you want me to blow up one of your secret systems on stream? Because it's not going to be covered. People know where we are. I can go there. I've heard great things about it, so I've been meaning to go there. But I don't want to blow up your hot spot on stream. Let's slipstream to the jump gate. Do the hidden stations have workshops? I haven't been to those in forever, so I'm not too sure. No workshops or missions. That's a shame. Yeah, maybe we should try... I'll try the system. Maybe we can try a couple different systems, because I've been wanting to also try out the fringe systems with stations, 36 Ursa and 29 Gamma. And then what I was thinking of doing is, like, I'll just stockpile, yeah, I think, yeah, my jump range is 28 light years right now. I might be able to work out a third, if there's an in-between system, but then we'd have to spend like 8 minutes in a in-between system for the Q jump cooldown. Gamma is 29 GV. What's the route for 29 GV? I think I could get there. We would just have to sit somewhere in between. Okay, let's look at the galactic map real quick. So we could probably jump. We could probably make it to, what's the nearest jump gate to 61 Virginis? There's my sheet. I don't want that. Yeah, we'll go to 29 Gamma. I think we can make it there. Let me just find the in-between system I'd have to jump to. I haven't been to 29 Gamma since we did that huge, oh yeah, we can... 61 Virginis from... So we'll go to GL 406, then 61 Virginis, then 29 Gamma. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been to 29 Gamma since we did that huge transport mission with all the armored panels. Might have a bunch of junk sitting in the station there. We'll see. But what I was thinking is it might be nice to just go to one of these fringe stations and just stockpile like all the common and uncommon ores in the station out there, and just keep mining until you have like a whole cargo hold full of like rare, ultra rare, and exotics. Virginis, Q jump, yes. So what you guys are gonna actually see when we get out here and we get NPC spawn is there's actually a bug right now. I assume most of you have found out that should hopefully be patched this week, where you can pretty much permanently de-aggro the NPCs when they spawn if you cloak. I'm sure that's what everyone's been doing. So you'll see how that works. Oh, that they spawn non-stop? That's not a bug. That's intended. Hopefully we actually fall out of Q jump properly here. If not, we'll have to exit to main menu. It looks like I might have to exit to main menu. It's changing some now. I don't know, I think we might be stuck. We'll give it like another 30 seconds. Alright, yeah, let's go to main menu. So if you ever find yourself queue jumping or interstellar FTLing, or even sometimes jump gates will do this, where you'll just get stuck, you can just quit the main menu and then come back in and you should fall right out of the FTL/queue jump. Whew. At least we're knocking down our queue jump cool time while we're waiting for this. Here we go. I think we're gonna be good. There it is. There it is. So we got 6 minutes to burn at 61 Virginis. I don't want to mine too much because I'm gonna have to queue jump and pay for it, but we can go check out the nearest field. Where should we go? I don't know if I have data on these fields. Let me check. Let's see. I might have data telling me the best field already. I do. Looks like I am missing one of the fields. So I got, where they got reshuffled. So I have 3 fields marked. I have the top right, the right, and the bottom. So I haven't been to this field actually. So let's go to here. See what's here. I'm not too sure if it does. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Regarding the slipstream stopping the queue jump cooldown, it's kind of iffy on how that really works. We're going 13x in a harvester. That's pretty fast. It's got an error on OBS, so we might be getting some lag on stream. Let me know if the video gets like laggy or starts bugging out. I might have to change some OBS settings for the next stream. Might be running it too high of settings to be streaming to multiple platforms. I don't know if my internet connection can handle it. I don't even know if that's how it works. But we'll see. Oh, you can buy a private workshop in 29? That is great to know. So basically I can just go out there once or twice a week, mine like a huge load of ore, drop it there, put it all in refining, and come back a week later, I'll be done. That's kind of nice. Why we got a couple minutes to burn. Let's take a look at the catalog. Let's take a look at what it's gonna take to construct. I don't know what should we, let's look at harvester. Sure, why not? MP harvester. Wow, just like these numbers alone, because you know inside of these there's going to be mass amounts of components. Let's look at the outer halls. One thing I'm guessing these subcomponents you make in your workshop. That's my guess. This crystal aluminum rod is in a lot of stuff. I might just start making these things in bulk. You know, they're using so much stuff. Steel sheets too, but I've been making steel sheets in bulk for a while, so. What's this white smoke plated composite? Oh, it's just gold sheet and titanium sheets. Nothing crazy. I'm guessing this is nickel and, oh, nickel sheet and hydrogen gas. I wonder if this shares any components with the framework. Nope, different. So if we need, how many do we need of these for one harvester? 128 outer hulls for one harvester. So that means we need 128 times 420 just for this one component. Let's see how much ore that is. Make sure we don't stop into a field. Wow, that means we need 53,000 just of this one component alone for this one subcomponent. I guess that could be a good bit. I don't know. It's going to be hard to tell until we really start trying to craft everything. You're going to need a massive spreadsheet just to figure out how much ore you need for one ship. Maybe there is no... Oh, here it comes. They're rendering in now. Coming from behind me. Any gas or ice? Can we see any? I wonder if they're coming in. I think I'm... Let me check my graphics. No, I'm on Ultra. There's some gas over there. Looks like hydrogen. Let's go get some gas. We can carry a little bit of gas to the next system. It won't be too expensive. I got 4 minutes burn. Yeah, so the Q jump cooldown did not cool down while we were in slipstream, because we'd be nearly done already if it did. Let's see if we can run into concentration node so you guys can see what it looks like. That one's a little high concentration. So I thought originally concentration nodes would just be super bright and then all the rest of the asteroids would be like the same they've always been. But it seems like it's kind of on a spectrum. Because you'll see some asteroids that are like brighter than your average. Like, there you go. There's a concentration. This one, what's this rock? It's green. That means I think it could be galtronium or it could be peridot. I don't know. Let's hit it and see what we get. If it's just anything besides galtronium, we'll probably just drop it so I don't have to pay for it on the Q jump to the next system. It is galtronium. Whew. And iridium. And gold. And aluminum. Oh man. That was a nice rock. Very nice rock. Oh, and there's a spawn, and we're cloaking. So that's kind of like what I meant by hit and run mining. Like, you can usually find just a couple good asteroids like that, and then by the time the spawn comes, you can mine it out with all your beams and then cloak and run away. So we'll come over here and we'll hit this it looks like hydrogen to me. We'll hit this hydrogen cloud with our gas beams until we get a spawn, and then we'll cloak and run away. Shields should come back up. You got that delay after cloaking, don't forget about that. I think it's like a 10-second or so delay after you uncloak before you can turn shields on. Keep that in mind or you could kill yourself. Two more. Oh, it's neon. Maybe it just looks white because the background's pink. Or maybe the color doesn't mean anything, but I could have swore when I was mining the other day, the neon rocks were always, the clouds had a pink glow. The helium was always kind of greenish. I guess it does kind of have a pink glow. It just wasn't noticeable on this background. And then the hydrogen was like a white to bluish tint. We don't want to get too much cargo here. Oh, we're already at 20 mil. Yeah. Eh. Let me just mark this field onto my sheet. So I have data on it now. Keep an eye on the screen so I don't get killed. Actually, I don't even want to collect anymore because I don't want to pay for a ton of trillite fuel. So this is... So I have a spreadsheet where I track all of my ores. Or not my ores, all my asteroid fields. And then I rate them. So I know, like, when I pop into the system, I know which field is the largest, which field's the most dense. And I also know approximate distance. So if I'm like in a slow mining ship, I go to systems where all the fields are closer to the center. But if I'm in a faster one, I can go to one where it's okay if they're like 300 GU out, 300,000 GU out. So this field is 432,000 GU. And with the rating system, I do... Write this down real quick. So this one is not very dense at all. And the way I typically rate a field is I'll hit it. You can either do that and count the number of asteroids. So we got 5 rocks within 150 GU. Or you can zoom. I'll zoom my radar in and just count. Pretty similar. So we got 5. Whole field looks to be about the same density. So I'm actually going to call this... What is this going to be? I'm going to call this a D density. And then it's pretty big. We'll go with a 4D, which means it's a pretty large field, but not very dense. Not the kind of field I like to mine in. I probably won't come back to this field. There's much better fields in the system. And with that, our Q jump cooldown is over, and we're going to go to 29 Gamma. Check out the new station there. Well, not new station, the station that none of us go to. Hopefully will soon. And check out the mining there. You don't have enough oh, yeah, see, I need to drop some of this ore. That's gonna be tough, because I think I only got good stuff. Get rid of the aluminum. Get rid of the silver. I might drop this neon, because I'm sure I'm gonna drop all this neon gas, because I'm sure I'm gonna find plenty of neon in 29 Gamma. And if not, I know where I can get it, so I'm not too worried about dropping all that. I can drop the iridium. I'm just going to drop everything but the galtronium and the alarum. I don't want to pay for all that TCF. So if you're in 61 Virginia and you want some free stuff, come here. Now we should have a cheap Q jump. $5, that's fair. 5 canisters, that's like 50 cents. Not a big deal. Yeah, stacking's been finicky. Sometimes it works really well for me, and sometimes it doesn't really work. I don't know. probably mine here for about half an hour and then cut the stream. Pretty long week for me. Went to NFT NYC, had a couple meetups, met a bunch of blockchain people. So looking to have a nice easy night. And I also want to do some pretty hardcore mining. Hit all the good systems that I don't want to show you. All the pockets and concentration nodes I found that I don't want to give up on stream. I need to mine a lot more ice too. I've been mowing through my ice. Alright, let's see here. Might buy a workshop here, actually. We will see. Let's work into this field first. I've actually never mined in 29 Gamma, I don't believe. So we'll see. Anybody else here? Oh, nope, we got the whole system to ourselves. Let's look at the market, see if it's become any more reasonable. Let's see, selling contracts, GRP, expand all. Anybody putting T2 crafted stuff on yet? Up yet? 2 mil for T2 thermal. Oh god. Still a good bit of the Astral Galtrides up. How much are T1 Thermalgods? 250k. That's wild. I need to get crafting those. Same with the Xenos. A lot of people trying to make GFC off stuff. I don't know how well that's going to pan out right now. Maybe down the road when we get more people. I feel like everyone now either has already bought most of what they need with Ethereum, or they are purely grinding and buying stuff with GRP. I don't know if we have a bunch of that many GFC people purchasing GFC to use in the marketplace yet. Make this window smaller so you can watch the countdown. 1 minute and 14 seconds. So the another thing I've seen a lot of people getting confused about is this biohexium, because a lot of the, gotta get into resources. So a lot of people will see this biohexium gas in a recipe and they'll think it's a gas that they need to harvest, but it's actually not. It's the biohexium gas is a component you make from refining biohexium clumps, which are not available right now. That's going to be what you can harvest from organics, and organics are not currently implemented on the live server, so you're not able to harvest these and then refine biohexium gas. So don't make the mistake of going out there with a bunch of gas harvesting beams trying to hunt down biohexium gas, because that's not how you get it. The only way to get biohexium gas right now is to either deconstruct something that has it in the recipe, or to get it from NPC drops, or buy it on the marketplace from someone who's done that. There is no organic mining live yet. When it does go live, it's going to be basically like what looks like plants, alien life forms on like asteroids, and you'll mine it off the asteroid just the same way we mine everything else. This is not a very good field. CBC. Oh, look at all that gas. I want some ice though. There's some more gas. I like the color of the system, the color of the star. Let's go hit up this gas field. We'll hit up this gas field until NPCs spawn, then we'll hit the other gas pocket, and then look for concentration nodes along the way. I am in the bottom right one. This is where I dropped out at, closest to this one. Doesn't look too great though. We'll pull a little bit of stuff from here and then we'll move to another field. I'm sure there's gotta be one more dense than this here. Yeah, I actually had a couple gas clouds disappear yesterday after I mined them for a while, but some didn't go away, but I couldn't mine them anymore. So, like, I'm guessing this is a rock I have target. So when you're gas mining, there's usually a rock, an asteroid in the middle of the gas field, and that's what you're going to want to target to harvest the gas. But like clouds like this, some clouds are very dense. Like you can see this little cloud off in distance, extremely dense. And this one, now it's all kind of dispersed out. It's can be tough sometimes to know which rock that you need to mine. Yeah, so this rock says it has no resources, so that means it's probably the one you need to target for gas. The top one is more compact. Alright, we'll go here. I'll hit some gas up, this gas cloud up. More neon. The other thing I've been wondering, is it good for me, should I run a build like this, where I can mine everything, or should I just have a build with like 10 gas harvesting beams, and then I'll just go, and I'll hit nothing but the gas, go back, unload that, then switch to build with nothing but ice beams, hit all ice, then go back, get regular, or, I don't know. Here comes a spawn. Come on, I clicked this cloak. I think it's pretty hefty, 62,000 HP apiece. Warlord work ones. Alright, let's go hit up this other. Where was it? There's another gas cloud around here. Yeah, we're just gonna go to the top field. This field is pretty mediocre. Yeah, I'm starting to think I'm gonna need to. What I might start doing is I might do a build that's just half ice, half gas, and then I'll just have full ore builds. Because ice and gas seem to be neat enough that we need to treat them as their own mining trips, essentially, and not just kind of like a secondary resource after ore itself. Just gotta get out of this. This field is just huge and sparse. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the chest too. I don't think I did it last stream. We got 129 in there. We're gonna distribute those rewards, so click to claim them. Four minutes. Oh, that's the one thing about the harvester. I mean, we have 2 quantum slipstreams and a transwarp on here, and we're still only going 13x. Which, I mean, 13x is pretty nice, but it's still take a minute. check in on the Discord while we're flying over there. Actually went through and I bought a bunch of, I think I bought like 5 more dredgers today. I already had a good bit because I was planning on crafting them. But I wasn't going to go hardcore on them. But after seeing the effort it's going to take to craft a ship, and then also the potential buffs the dredger's going to get, I think I'm going to focus pretty much on those. And then also the Intrepids, because I have a decent amount of Intrepid FFs. And I really want to see what a T2, or not Intrepid, Interceptor FFs. I really want to see what a T2 Reaper Interceptor looks like, stats wise. How fast it is and like the cargo, and I'm really interested to see if tech levels on ships increase the module slots and the hard points at all. I definitely wouldn't expect to see like a huge increase in module slots and hard points, if any, but it would be nice even if you got like 2 extra module slots, but we'll see. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Oh, one thing I was going to do that I completely forgot about today, I was going to do some giveaways. I don't know if I still have it set up. And I'd have to buy the crates. Let me see. We might still be able to do it. Let me see if I can get a giveaway set up for the stream. I wanted to give away some crates. We should be able to. To redo the overlay. Should be good though. Let me buy the crates. Alright, so the overlay should be set up. What kind of crates should we give away? Let's check this field out. Is this the field you were talking about, Dan? Is this the best field in 29 Gamma? That's going to be disappointing. I hope this isn't the best field in 29 Gamma, or I'm not going to be mining here often. I mean, I guess some pockets of it aren't too bad. But, ooh. Maybe I'm spoiled. Series 1 crates. Let's find some concentration nodes. Try to. We're pretty far from Sol, so it shouldn't take much to find a decent concentration node. Mining crates? I guess that makes sense since we talked about mining and or not mine. We are talking about mining and then refining today. And with manufacturing being released, a lot more people are probably refining than they used to be. So I'm sure some refining mods would be appreciated by some people. There's a concentration of something. It's probably like pyrite. Let's give it a hit. Do I really want to waste that hit for an NPC spawn though? Eh, let's see. Yeah, I can't tell if it's a V. I imagine you probably meant one of the other ones because it's better than the last one, but it's, yeah, see, those are just like concentration out of some common ores. At least it did not trigger an NPC spawn. Okay, so that wasn't a waste really. That's another one. Wow, that looks like it's probably more common ores. Alright, yeah, let's do some mining crates. We'll do one raffle. How many can I get? We'll do 3 mining crates, 3 winners. So each winner gets 1 mining crate. Oh, we gotta disconnect. It usually just reconnects. 3. Alright, mining crates are purchased. Giveaway set up. I'll go ahead and start it now. And we'll leave it open till the end of the stream. So the giveaway started. Just put exclamation point CSC in the chat and you'll be entered. We'll leave it running for a while. Give it at least 30 minutes. What time is it? We'll say at 6 p.m. Eastern, so that's 3 p.m. EST in 24 minutes. I'll draw it sometime after then. So you got at least 24 minutes to enter. Make sure, yep, it's picking you guys up, so we're good. Yeah, I definitely can't sit here and mine on stream all night because my mining efficiency when I'm streaming just goes down immensely. All these concentration nodes look kind of weak. Like they're all, let's see if they return anything. Oh, that bugged. Oh, we got gold somewhere. Probably just normal asteroid. Hit the Trilite scanner. Nothing, as per usual. Come on. Is the gold one a concentration node? We're getting a bit of a lag here. Alright, let's hit all these. Oh, that was some lag. That was like 15-second lag. Tourmaline. Yeah, so this big one was a tourmaline concentration and we got 969 out of one pool. Just a bunch of commons and uncommons, which I'm not going to complain about. Because we're going to need a ton of, I think we're going to need a lot more common and uncommon ores than we're expecting. Especially when we want to start crafting Prometheus and Dreadnought and stations. So, I know a lot of us have been dropping our commons and uncommons to make space and cargo, but I think that could have been a mistake. We should try to be keeping everything we mine. At least we're getting some diamond here too. That's nice. These are probably this, the bell tapped out. Both these. Having this deep core mining beam built in is so nice. Surprised we haven't got an NPC spawn yet. It seems like they spawn less frequently when you're hitting asteroids than if you're hitting gas or ice, which is interesting. Let's hit the electron pulse scanner, see if we got anything in. Oh, that looks like some galtronium. Yeah, that's green. So we got some galtronium in there, some gold in there. We got any concentration nodes on top of that? Oh, this one might have a stack of galtronium in it. This is a good little batch. What do we get? Oh, it wasn't galtronium, it was a mix of silver and gold. It tricked us. Here we go, now we gotta spawn. Come on, finish, finish, finish. One more pull. Nah. Getting out of here. Let's head into the gas cloud. Yeah, I think spring training is going on. Spring training games are going on in MLB. Unrelated, different game. But yeah, you're probably gonna get some MLBC rewards from the spring training game. This is interesting mix of gases. This looks like, what's it gonna be? Neon or hydrogen? Let's get in here. So this is the gas one. That, this guy, this guy. Shame we haven't come across any ice here. Ooh, we got a little bit of leucinite. Only 40 though. Get a gas pull yet? Did I miss it? Yeah, there is. Hydrogen. I think I might be low on hydrogen. I know I had a ton of neon. Nice thing with this deep core mining beam is while you're mining gas, you can kind of just like click out. Get some farther asteroids too.
from the time before you were born. It's space indicated. It's from the time before you were born.
Yeah, you can see how long these gas clouds will pull for. You gotta try and find some more asteroids within 250 GU. See if we can get a little more ore while we're here mining the gas. I think I did this one. Yeah, I'm getting a lot out of this gas cloud before the NPC spawn. Probably just jinxed me though. There's one, I got one over on the far end of this field I think, but not in this gas cloud yet. I wonder if this system has a lower NPC spawn rate because it has a station. Because it definitely seems like a lower spawn rate than the missions or the systems I was in before. No, I would not trust the Gale for gas or exotics or anything. There's not a lot of data on it because, I mean, we just started mining it, so Gale is basically, it's based on the data that it gets from the marketplace, and since there's no real marketplace data, it's not very accurate yet. Yeah, I was in Delta Bavanis, and they were spawning like every 5 minutes there. That's why I'm surprised. Yeah, you can see there's a fringe warlord off in the distance, all the way over here. Maybe that's why they haven't spawned yet, but usually you get a lot of spawns. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and keep tapping this till the gas runs out or an NPC spawns. See if I can reach any more rocks with the deep core miner. Nope. Probably run around some. Got that one. I think I mined this one already. Let's see. Oh, is this not a correct look of the clouds? Oh, that's interesting. I thought there was just a variety of clouds. Any others? I think I hit that one. Too far. It'd be really nice to have a mining scanner that went to 250 G. Let's try searching with the radar range. Should be one right off our bow. I think this guy? I think I hit this one already. We'll try again. Maybe this one? No, too far. Alright, let's call it on this gas. We got a good bit of gas there. Oh yeah, look at that. Over almost 100,000. 94,000 gas. Wow. I mean, it's gonna refine down a lot, but nice. Ooh, that's got something in it. No precious metals though. Is that a pyrite and quartz concentration? What we got left on the giveaway? 10 minutes. 10 minutes left to enter. Exclamation point CSC. We only have 8 entries so far, and there will be 3 winners. So odds are pretty good right now. Each winner will get 1 mining crate. I think in the patch notes it said that gas clouds will move every 3 to 7 days. I think I have those up still. Nah, I closed them. You gotta read the patch notes like 3-4 times to make sure you remember everything. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Getting a lot of concentration notes, but not of anything good. I want some exotic or ultra rares. Not impressed with 29 gamma so far. Not a good mining spot. Nice because it has the station, but that might have some gold in it. Got a little extra flash. No, it was Peridot. It was more green than yellow. Definitely see the difference in the mining beams now, because before there wasn't a huge difference between using like a 1x1 and a 2x2, but now you can see like the numbers I pull with the Cascade, much bigger than the numbers I'm pulling with the Thermal Algads. So that's nice to see. And especially with the concentration nodes, like a Cascade is very advantageous because they have so much ore in them. Saves you a lot of time. Oh, so the organic mining's already built in, it just needs turned on essentially. This one's light blue, probably silver. Yeah, biohexium gas is the new trilite. Yep, silver. Nice stack of silver. Oh, we got a little titanium in there too. There's a spawn. Let's get out of here. Let's actually pop to a new field. This one's... Or maybe let's go. Let's see if we can find another gas cloud down at this other end. I think this is the V-shaped field you were talking about, Dan. What I really want to start crafting is some T2 thermal agats. Those will be nice. This looks like a gas cloud off here. I just want some ice. I'm gonna have to go back to my ice hotspots from earlier this weekend. Maybe I'll build a full ice miner ship out later and go there, get a full load of ice. It's pretty much refined everything I mined Friday and Saturday. I was in a field yesterday that was so nice, or Friday, I forget. Past couple days I had a field that I just spent so much time in. I got a full harvester load and a full enterprise D load out of the same field, and it was so nice because it was very dense, it had a lot of ice, it had a lot of gas, and had a lot of concentration. So I was basically just sitting in one spot, mining a ton of ice, mining a ton of gas, and mining like some really nice concentration nodes all at the same time. It was super easy mining, and I got a nice amount of everything I needed out of there. Really saved me. These Vulcan ice beams are really nice too, because they have that 250 GU range. Now I just need a gas beam that has 250 GU range. See if we can reach anything. Oh, we got this guy. More hydrogen. Didn't we already get? Oh, there's something. Well, we're definitely stocking up on hydrogen. Oh, we already got a spawn. This is probably just some common ore, but we should be able to hit it with the empty the whole asteroid in one go. Yeah, a little bit of cobalt and silver. And it's empty. Couple more minutes on the giveaway. Ooh, some little bit of leucinite. Oh, Axe is here. How's it going, buddy? You're a plate, aren't you? Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be back to 29 gamma to mine. I had much better ores much better fields the other day, I found. NFT NYC was awesome. I actually met somebody who knew you. One of the NFT London guys asked about you. I forget his name. I want to say Chase. I'm not sure. His Twitter name is Block Chase. So I'm just gonna assume his name is Chase, but I may be wrong. Alright, last chance to get into the giveaway, exclamation point CSC. I'll give you guys another minute, and then I'm going to go ahead and stop and get the 3 winners. And then once we get the 3 winners, you guys can just DM me your SC IDs on Discord, and I'll send those crates to you guys right after the stream. I'm probably going to cut the stream in about 10-15 minutes. I need to get a bite to eat, and then I need to go do some serious mining. Oh, we did have one question that somebody submitted in the Discord. Let me pull that up so we can answer that. Might have had more than one, I haven't checked. So I made, I don't know how many guys saw the announcement, but I made a channel in the Discord. And I think I'm just going to leave it there to run, where you can drop questions that you want answered on stream, maybe something that's it's a little more necessary to have the video up for, and you can't just answer with some words in Discord, like you want to see how to do something or find something in the game. You can drop it there. There's a new channel called Stream Questions. We have one question from Alpha Hyperion. He wants to know, what's the insurance cost going to be for each ship class? Might need some help. I believe all of the answers for that were in the last QA. I know off the top of my head that right now the estimated cost to reclaim Prometheus is 15 million GRP. However, that is not finalized, as we are all very much aware of, as the exact functions and mechanics of insurance is still up in the air. But just to give you an idea, for a Prometheus class ship, it will be 15 million GRP. So as you can imagine, a Dreadnought is going to be a good bit more than that, and I imagine something like Corsair will probably be in the 5 to 10 mil range, and then Intrepid would be lower than that, and obviously Scout would be much lower than that. So that goes back to what I was saying earlier about so reclaiming of FF ships, it's not completely set in stone yet. From what I know of it is, the difference between FF and MP is obviously FF, you're never going to be unable to claim it, like you're obviously never going to permanently lose it. But I believe the prices are the same. The difference is that at some points MP ships are going to run out of the ability, they're no longer going to be able to be reclaimed. That point, it hasn't really been determined yet or finalized to my knowledge, but that is the main distinction, is at some point your MP ship is not going to be reclaimable, but your FF ships will always be reclaimable. There may be like a timer that you have to wait on for the FF ship to reclaim it. See, if you die like 3 times the same day, you might get like a respawn timer type thing, kind of how you do in other RPGs, like in World of Warcraft for example. If you died like 5 times in an hour, your respawn timer just got longer and longer. I think there's going to be a similar mechanic here for FF ships, and that's just to keep us from abusing them, like basically just sending a constant flow of FF ships into battle because we can reclaim it if, say, there was like a guild war or something. You don't want to be that, you don't want to have that unlimited replication be too much of an advantage to the point where it can be abused. Alright, I am gonna go ahead and stop the giveaway now. It's been running for 28 minutes. We have 10 people entered. We're going to have 3 winners, and each are going to get 1 mining crate. So, drawing now. 3 winners are Captain Obvious, Chester Ketty, and Alpha Hyperion. So just send me your SCIDs on the Discord, and I will get those over to you today. The timer on nodes, like concentration nodes, like I don't know, but I'm guessing they're on the same reseed timer as the regular ore. I don't exactly know. Let's check the patch notes, because I'm not positive on that. That's one thing I don't remember. There might be better info in the patch notes about the concentration nodes. Let me check the patch notes for this, see if there's any concentration node info. Ice mining will reroute the denser, blah blah blah. Okay, so that actually, I'm reading the patch notes now, and I think there's some stuff that needs fixed. Because the patch notes say, for ice mining, for example, you can get up to 5,500 units of ore per asteroid. That's definitely not true, because you can get a lot more than 5,500 units. Gas, you can get up to 200,000 units. That might be true. That probably seems about right, actually. Asteroid seeding, the further you go out, you can get denser. The densest distribution you get is 200,000 units per ore per asteroid. I don't see anything about concentration node respawns. So I'm going to assume they're similar reseed times, if not the same reseed times as the regular ore. They might shuffle and move around. I believe they do. In the same intervals as gas belts. But I think, like Fosri said before, like with gas in a system, like say you find 3 hydrogen clouds in one system, when it reshuffles, there'll still be 3 hydrogen clouds in that system, they'll just be in different spots. Might not be completely correct, but that's how I believe it works. So I'm going to go ahead and bounce off now, unless you guys have any last minute questions or you want to see anything. I'm going to bounce off, and then I'm going to go head out into another fringe system and get some really solid mining going. I need a lot of ore for all my crafting endeavors. Roll a frost saber. I think it's like a 0.001% chance now, so that'd be pretty intense. I wish I did still have my frost saber from all the ice mining, but unfortunately I got rid of it. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and cut it off now. Seems like everybody's good. I'll get those crates out to you guys. That one, Chester, Captain Obvious, and Alpha. And have fun and safe flying. Have a good night, everybody.